Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this morning I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I'm going to give you a bit more additional information regarding Bruno Fernandes. I've been updating you about him on a regular basis. Also going to give you the latest news regarding Mauricio Pochettino, and there's lots of other things to currently talk about. So we will start with Bruno Fernandes. So reportedly now Manchester United are close to signing Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, because reportedly Man United and Sporting Lisbon are now close to agreeing a fee for Bruno Fernandes. I think it's a deal worth around £47 million, so we'll pay around £47 million up front with add-ons included. So obviously before Man United were only determined to pay around £42 million up front, but these reports are coming out from the Portuguese press. But like I said on my recent videos, the vast majority of the stories that have been coming out about Bruno Fernandes have been coming from Portuguese sources. So this is what it has said. Obviously, £47 million up front is still short of Sporting Lisbon's valuation, because they did reveal over the course of the weekend that they wanted around €80 million, which equates to around 68 million in pounds sterling. And it did say Man United are not determined to pay that, because it says, we was only willing to pay around £42 million up front for him. But obviously, the stumbling block of Bruno Fernandes' move to Man United has actually, been the fee, because Man United and Sporting Lisbon have struggled to come to an agreement on a fee. But it got confirmed last week that Man United had agreed personal terms with Bruno Fernandes. That was according to the Portuguese press, and he would earn around £120,000 a week at Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes has already notified Sporting Lisbon that he does want to come to Man United. The Sporting Lisbon boss has given his overarching view on it all, and he actually said that he's not close to joining Manchester United. It's more than likely that Bruno Fernandes will be playing against Braga tonight for Sporting Lisbon in their League Cup semi-final. But Sporting Lisbon's game against Benfica last Friday was supposed to be his farewell appearance for them. And then obviously, Man United were expected to sign him. He was supposed to be in the stands for the game against Liverpool. But obviously, the other week, well, it was last week, George Mendes, he's been working on getting Bruno Fernandes' transfer to Man United completed. He was in the director's box spectating our game against Wolves. Also, he was in London last Tuesday, so he's also been working on it. There was also a lot of rumours going on saying that Marcus Rojo could be a part of the deal, because Sporting Lisbon were demanding Marcus Rojo as part of the deal. There was also talks about Andres Pereira going out on loan as part of the deal and that. So I think it will be a straight cash deal. But don't forget, we was relentlessly linked with Bruno Fernandes last summer. We was actually relentlessly linked with him last season. But I did give it a couple of explanations why we did not get Bruno Fernandes last summer, because Sporting Lisbon said last summer they wanted around £70 million. Man United were only determined to pay around £50 million. Don't forget, City were close to getting him last summer. Tottenham also went in for him. I was reading the Daily Express yesterday, and they actually said that City are orchestrating on hijacking our move for Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, he is a very, very good player, and I would be very, very satisfied if we did get him into the football club, because Bruno Fernandes is a player that can provide goals. He can provide assists, he can create chances, and he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. And obviously, the club are seeing him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, because I still believe that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the football club, probably more imminent in the summer. He won't leave in this January transfer window, I don't think. But we'll look very exposed in that midfield anyway, following the injuries to Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. My only element of concern about Bruno Fernandes is that he's never played in the Premier League as yet, so he isn't Premier League proven, but I think he's had a good couple of years in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon. Now, I think he would have the minerals to come and succeed in the Premier League, so I think in the Premier League he'll be able to replicate what he's done with Sporting Lisbon. Don't forget, he got his contract extended in November of last year. I do presume that's reflected on his good run of performances. And don't forget, when he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in Italy. So over the years, Bruno Fernandes has emulated himself up. So yeah, he does definitely want to come to Man United, because Man United is his preference. But I think his actual preference was totally comparison last summer, because I think last summer he actually, wanted to make the move to Tottenham. So I'm hopeful sometime this week that Man United can complete the signing of Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, so we've actually, increased our offer, which is, very, very good. So our Sporting Lisbon, going to accept this offer from Manchester United. But now reportedly it is close. But I said, it was going to happen anyway, because obviously, when it's coming from the BBC, which is a reliable source, when it's coming from Sky Sports, obviously, they tend to be reliable the vast majority of the time. Then obviously, there's a lot of trustworthy in it. So that's basically, the latest news on Bruno Fernandes. Solsjkaer hasn't really spoken about Bruno Fernandes recently. He's basically, focusing on Manchester United at the moment, but he is aware that we are linked with a host of players, but he is our number one priority target. I don't only think we need Bruno Fernandes, I think we need another midfielder, because we're in search also for a holding midfielder. We need a replacement for Ander Herrera, because we let him go last summer. And obviously there's a lot of other midfielders on our agenda, that Man United could go in for. I think, there's some midfielders who will probably go in for in the summer as well. So that's the latest news regarding Bruno Fernandes. But I think we should just pay anyway, what Sporting Lisbon are demanding for him. I think he's worth it, reflect on his good run of performances. And we're known for overpaying for players anyway. Prime example, 80 million for Maguire. He's addressed our defensive deficiencies well. Of course, now he's our permanent captain. We did overpay for him, but I think he's still done well for us. We overpaid for Fred. We paid £50 million for him, 40 million for Matic, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba. So we are known for overpaying for players. And, we did recommend 3 good additions to the squad last summer. We spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire in that. But I think we need at least another 4 or 5 more signings if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club, and if we are, to be up there challenging for major honours. And obviously, we want to be back being title contenders. And, we have been a toxic club for the last 6 or 7 years. But as you all know, we are not in the commanding position that we should be in, reflecting on the amount of money that's been invested into the football club since the Ferguson era. We have spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in. Not only that, we have got players on big contracts at the club, and our wage structure is absolutely balmy. And, but, we need to get the right calibre of players in. That's very, very imperative indeed. So now I'm going to give you the latest news regarding Mauricio Pochettino. So I've just been reading recent reports about Pochettino, and it does say that Pochettino has begun negotiations with Manchester United over replacing Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer at the club at the end of the season. So I think if we are to recommend Pochettino in, it will be imminent. It will be at the end of the season, not at this present time. Ed Woodward is still determined to stand by Solskjaer. Reportedly, even if Man United don't get the top 4 this season, we are still determined to stand by him, because we're determined to back him in this January window. We're also determined to back him in the summer and that. But Solskjaer, of course, has been at the club now for 13 months. So he's been here just over a year, and obviously he knows now that he's in his 2nd year with the club. He has got many expectations to exceed. And like I've said to you, we have got quite a few priorities. We need that top 4. We are still in that top 4 race. The only main explanation why we're in that top 4 race is because Chelsea have been in a bad vein of form recently. We are only 5 points behind. And I did say at the start of this season that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. I think our aspirations will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons. And yeah, and obviously it's very imperative that we get some silverware on the board this season. Hopefully we can win the Europa League. Plus that's another route to Champions League football. And hopefully, we can win the FA Cup. I've disregarded the Cowbell Cup now because I can't see us, progressing to the final of that competition. But don't forget, Solskjaer recently spoken about the importance of us getting a silverware on the board, because we have lacked silverware. We've only won 3 trophies since Alex Ferguson's retirement back in 2013. The FA Cup under Van Gaal, and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. But yeah, so I think Man United, need to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in anywhere. I think what we should have done is, we should have got him in after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018. But like I've said to you guys on my other videos, the main explanations why we went with Solskjaer over Pochettino is because Solskjaer did really, really well on an interim basis in that 3-month period. Plus, Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. And plus, Solskjaer knows the club well. In that aspect, it's comparison because Pochettino doesn't know the club as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does. But, we've been long admirers of him. Pochettino, I think, would take the job at Manchester United like he's revealed, but he's reportedly said he would like to take control of the transfers. So what he means, he doesn't want Ed Woodward as the director of football at Man United. Obviously, don't forget Mauricio Pochettino worked alongside Paul Mitchell when Paul Mitchell was the head of recruitment at Tottenham and Southampton. Pochettino did work alongside them. So I think he's keen on taking the job at Manchester United, definitely. And and like I said, he's been linked with other managerial roles. Obviously the other week he was linked with a managerial role at Barcelona because obviously, Barcelona had sat Ernesto Valverde. Early on this season, there was a lot of speculation about him going back to Bayern Munich. And there was also talks about him going to Real Madrid because Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. It came out, I think, was it like 5 days ago, and Pochettino did indicate out his next managerial job will either be in England or Spain. So he may want to, remain loyal in England. In total at the moment, Mauricio Pochettino has managed 3 clubs. 2 of those clubs have been Premier League clubs. I thought he enjoyed a good 5.5 years with Tottenham, progressed them to their first ever Champions League final last season. Also, did really, really well with them. He hasn't won out in terms of silverware. That's my only element of concern. But I think he's totally comparison to Solskjaer. Much better manager than Solskjaer. Well Premier League proven. His philosophy's good. And I thought he enjoyed a good short tenure with Southampton. Before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So he's been managing now for just over a decade as Mauricio Pochettino. But he did reveal when he got sacked from Tottenham last year, he wanted an immediate return back to management. During Pochettino's 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham, he won 159 games in 293 games in all competitions. That's a pretty decent record. And I think just in the Premier League, he won 113 games out of 202. But I think it would be beneficial to recommend him in now anywhere because we wouldn't have to pay anything in compensation. But if Solskjaer is to be sacked by the club, it's very imminent that Pochettino will be our next manager. So he's in talks now with Man United. It got revealed the other week how much it would cost the club to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it did say, would have to pay around £5 million to get rid of him. This is what it said. So that's around £15 million less than what we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho, because we paid around £20 million to get rid of Jose Mourinho. I think we paid around £8 or £9 million to get rid of Van Gaal, and paid around £5 or £6 million to get rid of David Moyes. But, Solskjaer's still got, around 2.5 years left on his deal. When we give him the job permanently in March of last year, he signed a 3-year contract with the club worth around £7.5 million a year. But I think that was one of the mistakes Man United did make, was giving him the job on a permanent basis. But he isn't a long-term solution for Man United. And I think the main explanation why Man United have stuck with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is because he's a club legend. But I think, disregarding Solskjaer being a club legend, I think he would have been sacked by now. I can understand, from our perspective that, we don't want to sack him because obviously, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. And Man United are obviously, not really known for the sacking football club, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Obviously, David Moyes got sacked after 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure with the club since the Ferguson era. And that was the one mistake Ferguson did make, was recommending David Moyes in. But the main explanation for that is because, they were both Scottish. Then, obviously, Van Gaal came in. He lasted just over a year. He got sacked. Jose Mourinho enjoyed a 2.5-year tenure with the club. I think from my own perception, we recommended Jose Mourinho in too late. you could arguably say we should have recommended him in after the Alex Ferguson era. But Mourinho did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season with Manchester United. But Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And, and like I did say at the start of this season, I didn't expect us to win the league or mount any kind of title challenge up, but I expected us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished sixth. We didn't win any silverware. I think actually the lowest we finished in the Premier League era was seventh, back under the David Moyes era and that. But like I've said on my recent videos, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. I think we need a change of management. We need to get Ed Woodward out of the club. Obviously, Gary Neville's recently come out and criticised Ed Woodward and that. He's come out and criticised him, and Solskjaer's reacted, to Gary Neville's comments about Ed Woodward. Obviously a lot of United fans have been protesting Ed Woodward. Also to the Glazers, I think they also need to get out. We also need to get rid of the coaching staff. I think there's also definitely more players that need to leave Manchester United. I think we need to get rid of another 6, probably another 5 or 6, maybe 7 more players this year. But I think Solskjaer will be only determined to let more players go if signings can be assured in this January transfer window. I would be delighted if we could make at least 2 signings in this January transfer window. But I've already said, the problematic players at Manchester United. Jones needs to go. Rojo needs to go. Matic needs to go. Too inconsistent in that midfield. Lingard needs to go. Chon needs to be loaned out because he's not at that level as yet. You've got a lot of United fans saying that Luke Shaw needs to go. So these 2 more players that need to leave the football club, definitely. And I think Paul Pogba needs to go. I think he will go in the summer, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Definitely. And you're getting a lot of United fans saying that Solskjaer maybe would do better as a sporting director than actually manager, or maybe would even do better as a coaching assistant, but that is not true. But whether Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club works out or not, we'll never forget what he's done for the club, because he enjoyed 11 great years at Manchester United. I think he made a total of 366 appearances in all competitions and scored 126 goals, 235 appearances just in the league, and 91 goals. And obviously one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moments as a player was in 1999 when he won the club the treble, and that's obviously one of the club's greatest achievements, definitely. But I just feel as though as a manager he hasn't got that proven pedigree, and as a manager he's totally comparison to how he was as a player. So I think we definitely nowhere need to get rid of him. But yeah, he'll still be here in January. I think he'll still be here at the end of the season. Then we may consider them recommending Richie or Pochettino in for the new season. But I think he's a much better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But not all of the blame stems from the manager. Some people believe why we've been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season is reflecting on the amount of injuries that Man United have had, because to be fair, we've had a lot of injuries this season, but that's not excusable for how bad we've been. Obviously, we've now got Rashford out with injury. He's could be out for at least 6 weeks. Rashford has sustained a double stress fracture in his back. And I think there's some reports saying that he could be out for up to 3 months. Ian Wright's come out. He's given his overarching view reflecting on Rashford's injury. And he actually says that Solskjaer needs to take some of the blame. And he says basically he's accused Solskjaer of putting himself before Marcus Rashford. Like I said, Rashford's been one of our best players this season because he has been in scintillating form. So he is a big miss, is Rashford. And now reflecting on his injury, we definitely now need a striker. Solskjaer came out after the 2-0 defeat to Liverpool, and he said that, we probably now will delve into this current transfer market to make short-term deals. This is what, Solskjaer has said. But yeah, Rashford's injury is severe, and I did say before, didn't I? I hope his injury is not too severe. So he's out, I think, for around 3 months, is Marcus Rashford. Jesse Lingard's just come back from illness, and he was injured early on the season. Martial's had a few injuries this season. We've still got Pogba and McTominay out. Pogba's not back until the end of January, or is it early February? McTominay, I don't think it's back until early February, is it? So look, exposing that midfield. We've got, who's the other injuries? We've got Luke Shaw's just come back from injury. He's sustained a few injuries this season. Luke Shaw's very injury prone. The good news is though that Eric Bailly's just come back from injury, because he's very injury prone anyway, but he's just come back from a knee injury. He was out with a knee injury since pre-season. Bailly's now back. He did play for the under-23s the other week, so too did Fosu-Mensah. He's just come back from injury. I think actually Solsjkaer views Fosu-Mensah as a right-back, even though he can play as a centre-half and he can play as a midfielder. But he says when he was 19, when he played for Holland, he was a right-back, was Fosu-Mensah. So it's good to see, them back in action. Maybe Bailly could find game time difficult, because obviously, Lindelof and Harry Maguire are our first choice centre-backs. But yeah, it's good to see them now back from injury. I still believe Tuanzebe and Rojo are still out. Tuanzebe's been out of injury for quite some time. Rojo, I think, got some kind of a muscular problem. And Rojo has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, definitely. Yes, he has. So we've had a lot of injuries this season. We've also got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. And well, that's one aspect to me that credits Solskjaer. He's got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players. He's got a lot of trustworthy in them. And there's a lot of young players that will become a success. I think Greenwood's going to do well. Don't forget, he has been considered for the Euros as Mason Greenwood, by Gareth Southgate. And Solskjaer said he needs to focus more on Man United before he gets recommended into the European Championships. But Mason Greenwood's a very good player, only 18 years of age. This is his first season in the senior squad. And as I think he develops more, he will emulate to Rashford and Anthony Martial's level. Greenwood's on 9 senior goals for the football club this season in 20-odd first-team appearances. So he's done really, really well. I just think there's question marks around Solskjaer. Why does he not play him from the start regular enough in the Premier League? He should have been starting against Liverpool due to Rashford's absence. I know he came on in the game, but like I said, Solskjaer's decision making is questionable. He's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season, so they're the element of concerns I've got about him. Brandon Williams has done really, really well. Again, should not have been playing at left wing against Liverpool. Should have started at left back. Luke Shaw should have been dropped. But Williams has done really, really well. And since he's come into the first team, he has been a revelation. And I've got to say, he's a much better solution than Luke Shaw. Diego Dalot's just come back from injury. I don't really have a perception on him at the moment. Hasn't really had a lot of chances as a Man United player. And obviously not this season especially, due to the couple of injuries he's had. But he's one of our backup options at that right-back position. James Garner's played a couple of games this season. He's done quite well, sorry. So there's a lot of young players in the squad, and Solskjaer has confirmed he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players into Manchester United, like he did do last summer. And as it stands at the moment, we've got a lot of young players in the squad. I give you the news, didn't I, yesterday regarding Edinson Cavani from PSG. It did reportedly say Man United are in for him. I think Atletico Madrid are emerged as the favourites to sign Edinson Cavani. It also says that Chelsea have been in for him, because I think Frank Lampard is also considering making short-term deals at Chelsea. Edinson Cavani is leaving PSG, by the way, because yesterday there was a lot of reports coming out, including Sky Sports, which I said is a reliable source, and they said the PSG's director came out and said that Edinson Cavani has handed in a transfer request at PSG, so he's going to be leaving this month. So you can get him for a reasonable figure. I don't think a lot of Man United fans would take him, reflecting on his age and that, because he's now 32 years of age. So regarding his age, there is element of concerns. If he was to come to Man United anywhere, we wouldn't offer him a long-term contract. I think PSG did reveal that they want around 25 million for Edinson Cavani. Want around 25 million for Edinson Cavani. Probably would be a cheaper solution than Raul Jimenez, who we're in for, and obviously Moussa Dembele, who we're in for. But them two players would be my preferences over Edinson Cavani, because Raul Jimenez is younger than Edinson Cavani. So too is Moussa Dembele. But you've got to admire Edinson Cavani. He's had a pretty decent career. He's been a long-serving player for PSG. He's enjoyed 7 seasons with them. Well, 7 years. Well, he's been there. How long's he been there? No, he's been there 7 years, I think. Well, 6 years, sorry. He's been there 6 years, but he's currently now into his 7th season with PSG. He's their record goal scorer. He's scored 198 goals in 293 appearances in all competitions. His current contract is due to expire anywhere at the end of the season. PSG did pay around £55 million for him from Napoli back in 2013, but I don't see Manchester United getting Edison Cavani in, to be quite honest with you. He can score goals and that, obviously he's never played in the Premier League, that's another element of concern I've got about him, but I don't see Man United getting him. Maybe Chelsea could get him, maybe, Atletico Madrid could get him, I don't know. But I don't see Man United getting him. So he's been one striker on our agenda. Obviously, Raul Jimenez has been on our agenda. Quite a few midfielders on our agenda. James Maddison, Jack Grealish, Declan Rice. I think they're potential targets we're going to go for in the summer, probably. But yeah, I do presume now Solskjaer's done his press conference building up to the Man United Burnley game tomorrow, 8:15 kickoff. He would have done his press conference. On paper, Man United should win that game tomorrow against Burnley. We need to see a total comparison to performance to what we saw against Liverpool on Sunday at Anfield. Solskjaer tactically got it wrong again. Solskjaer, I do presume, will make changes from the 2-0 defeat to Liverpool. But this game against Burnley, we should be winning. We beat them in the reverse fixture by 2-0 at Moore. Yes, we did, and the last meeting at Old Trafford was 2-2. But I think Solskjaer's actually praised Sean Dyche because he feels as though he's done a pretty decent job with Burnley. But we need to see a total comparison performance to what we saw against Liverpool, definitely, because, like I said, Liverpool dominated the vast majority of that game. Like I said, Man United had slight periods where we did all right. I said the 2 best chances we had was Pereira, he missed a sitter, and Martial, had a glorious chance in the second half, but obviously, didn't take it. Again, it was part of the bus football for Man United, part of the bus and counter-attacking football. And that's not what you do against Liverpool. We did try setting up differently against Liverpool to try and get something, but obviously it didn't work out. A lot of United fans said if we'd have had Rashford, Pogba, and Tomway in that, we may have got something out of Liverpool. But Liverpool were just too strong for us. Don't forget, they could have been out of sight at half time. Liverpool had 2 disallowed goals through Firmino and Jorginho Wijnaldum. So don't forget that, and obviously created chances as well. Liverpool are obviously going to win their first ever Premier League title. Their 30-year drought is coming to an end. They've won 21 games out of 22 this season. They've broken records already. They're unbeaten in 39 Premier League games. Anfield is now a fortress. They haven't lost there for almost 3 years. They're unbeaten in 52 Premier League games at Anfield. They're 30 points in front of us. They're 16 points in front of City. 19 points in front of Leicester with a game in hand. Solskjaer's credited of how good Liverpool have been this season. He's credited them, but he still insists they're not the greatest team in the division unless they can win back-to-back titles. And you've had some United fans coming out saying that, they've admitted that Liverpool are going to win it this season, but they've still got another 12 to catch us up because obviously, we've won 13 Premier League titles, don't forget. But yeah, they are definitely not going to win it this season. But, there's people now saying they can go undefeated all season and they can replicate what Arsenal did back in 2004. But there's still around 15 or 16 games left of the season. Don't forget about that. But we're the only team that have taken any points from Liverpool this season. By the way, that 2-0 win for Liverpool on Sunday was Jurgen Klopp's 150th win as Liverpool manager. It was actually his first win over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's only managed against Solskjaer 3 times, or 2 draws and 1 win for Jurgen Klopp. So so we need to see a much better performance against Burnley, definitely, and we need to win this anywhere to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. And Solskjaer says the only way we can get that top 4 is if we do find that consistency. So this is what he's come out and said. He's also said, we strided forward in the 2-0 defeat to Liverpool, but he's actually come out and admitted, Solskjaer, that now is the time to discuss the club's recruitment policy, because our recruitment policy has been poor for several years, definitely. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.